Joining me now is Hayden Brown, President and CEO of Upwork. Hayden, thank you so much for joining us. I'd love for you just to get started. Give me a clarifier on freelance versus gig, because it's not always the same thing, and what you're seeing in this freelance world.
Absolutely. You're right that gig is a tiny fraction of really a much bigger ecosystem around freelance and contingent work, which, by the way, is a $1.5 trillion market in the U.S. and 28% of U.S. knowledge workers are engaged in some kind of contingent or flexible work. So this is a huge ecosystem. The gig work is really a tiny component of small transactional projects. You know, on our platform, projects under $300 in spend are only about 5% of total spend. And I think that's pretty representative of the market as a whole. This is really a market for big, complex work by knowledge workers.
Okay. So when you're talking about freelance, I guess even still, I understand what you're saying about the gig work being a small percentage of it, but is a freelance job as high paying, as connected to a bigger company as a non-freelance job? How should we look at that in the grand scheme of work? Is it as permanent?
You know, this has been a rising tide for many years now, and actually it's more and more a choice that people are making because they really want to work flexibly for themselves. They want to have their own kind of shingle hung out as an entrepreneur and frankly feel more control over their future in an economy that is very uncertain. What we hear from freelance workers is they're choosing this way of working because of all the benefits. And many of them have told us, you could not pay me enough to go back to a full-time job where I'm exposed to potential job loss. I'm at the whim of my employer. Instead, I want to chart my own course. And we see this in every successive work generation. Gen Z is freelancing at 53% of that knowledge workforce. They're choosing to work this way because it gives them control and freedom.
Wow, that's a big number, 53%. Now, your gross services volume from AI-related work jumped 53% as well year over year in the third quarter. We just had a segment with Steve Leisman, our senior economics reporter. I don't know if you were able to hear any of that, but can you explain what this means? What is AI-related work? So in this case, it's AI that is helping a worker, not replacing one?
Yeah, let me unpack that. And Steve made a lot of great points in that last segment. We're seeing some consistent trends around, number one, businesses of all sizes are trying to figure out how they can get ROI from these AI investments. 95% of AI pilots are failing. We saw that data from MIT just recently. And yet they also don't have the skills and expertise in-house to do this work. So they're coming to platforms like Upwork to find the skilled talent they need. We have 250,000 AI experts on our platform. And this is really where Upwork is an AI equalizer for small and mid-sized businesses who are really trying to compete and get value, and also for large enterprises who are trying to build programmatic AI solutions.
Really interesting. And so your GSV growth did turn positive, up 2% year over year. You're expecting it to improve in 2026. Why? How are you confident it can continue after you've seen a number of quarters where it's fallen the other way?
Yeah, we really turned the page for our business this quarter after several quarters of work where we were rewiring Upwork for the AI era. This work is now paying off, and we're seeing tailwinds from both our own implementations of AI in our platform, which are driving better performance for customers. We have an AI agent called Uma, which is helping customers get through their workflows, and that's delivering $100 million of incremental GSV just from our AI investments on search and Uma, things like that. We're also seeing tailwinds from this AI category as more businesses are looking for these AI experts, and also a little bit of fractionalization is starting to happen where, you know, whether it's layoffs or just new types of work are coming into the enterprise with AI at the core. The type of workers that businesses need on top isn't always in the shape of a full-time employee. Often they need a flexible or contingent worker to come in and supplement AI. That's another tailwind for us that is really just starting to build and led that category of AI work to be, you know, growing 53% in the quarter. So those are tailwinds for us in addition to opening up the small business market. We have a new Business Plus offering just for SMBs. That grew 33% in the quarter. And we're also seeing a lot of tailwinds with our enterprise strategy. So when we look to 2026, we're very confident this is now a growth era for us, and we're going to be accelerating next year on top of these strategies.